Hello student, this is Palladabari, your host, and you're watching Palladabari classes. In this video, we will discuss Chapter 5 Macroeconomics Class 12th Foreign Exchange Rate. This is the volume 4 of the chapter Foreign Exchange Rate. In this video, we will discuss a very important topic, that is purchasing power parity. Let us see what is purchasing power parity. This theory was given by the Swedish economist Gustav Cassel during the World War I in the year 1916. We know that the World War held from 1914 to 1918. So during the World War World War I, this theory was given by Swedish economist Gustav Cassel, and this theory became very popular after the World War I. According to this theory, the rate of exchange between two countries will be determined on the basis of price level. So according to this theory, how the rate will be determined? According to this theory, the rate of exchange, it means foreign exchange rate, will be determined between two countries on the basis of price level. I try to explain it through the example. Suppose the price of 1 kg apple in India is 65 rupees. So what is the price of 1 kg apple in India? 65 rupees. The same quantity in USA is $1. So according to this theory, the $1 rate is 65 rupees. According to this theory, the rate will be determined on the basis of price level of the same unit of commodity. The money is spent on the same quantity of the goods and services. 1 kg apple 65 rupees, the same quantity of apple in USA $1. So in this way we can say that $1 is equal to 65 rupees. So in this way we can say that price will be determined on the basis of price level. Exchange will be determined on the basis of price level. Remember, the actual rate of exchange must be such that the same amount of purchasing power, when exchanged at that rate, must buy same amount of goods and services both the countries. Here we can say the quantity is the same. It means that the same quantity of apple we have purchased in two countries, and by spending the money on the same unit of the commodity, we determine the exchange rate. Now let us see the definition of the purchasing power parity. The rate of exchange determined in relation to price level. So here we can say that the rate of exchange determined in relation to price level is known as a purchasing power parity. Now let us see how is PPP determined. How the purchasing power parity is determined. Listen, the purchasing power parity theory is determined by comparing the general price level. We never compare the international trade goods. Why? Because in the case of international goods, the trade goods, the tariffs will be considered. But in the purchasing power parity, we never considered the international trade goods, rather we considered the general price level, the price of the goods within the country. In this theory, for the determination of the price level, we always use wholesale price. We never considered the retail price. The question is, why the retail price is not considered? Because the retail price vary from shopkeeper to shopkeeper. Because mostly the retailer charges different prices for different consumers. But the wholesale price is constant, static. So in this theory, we always consider the wholesale price, not the retail price. So which index is being followed? Wholesale price index. Gustav Cassel has presented the production possibility theory in two versions. So tell me the versions of the production possibility theory. The production possibility theory has two versions. Number one, absolute version, and number two, relative version. So how many versions this theory is having? Two. Absolute version and relative version. Now let us see the absolute version of production possibility purchasing power parity. According to the absolute version of purchasing power parity theory, exchange rate between two currencies should reflect the relationship between the international purchasing power of various currencies. The exchange rate will be determined at the point What it means? Exchange rate will be determined at the point where the internal purchasing power of the respective currency get equalized. Purchasing power of the respective currencies get equalized. When I say purchasing power get equalized, it means what it means? That uh, through this example I just tell you what it means. Suppose the basket of goods in India is 1000 rupees and the basket of goods in USA is 100 rupees. It means that 1000 rupees is equal to 100 rupees. It means 1000 rupees becomes equal to 100. Why? Because the same uh, commodity can be purchased in 1000 rupees and can be purchased in 100 rupees. So 100 rupees is equal to $100. So 1000 rupees is equal to $100. So here both the currencies are equal. The point at which both the currencies are equal is called purchasing power parity. The same quantity can be purchased in 1000 rupees and that very quantity can be purchased in $100. So here we can say that 10 rupees is equal to $1. Now let us see the relative version of the production purchasing power parity theory. Listen, Gottschalk relative version states that inflation comes in every country. We know that in every country inflation is there. When I say inflation, it means we know that in every country the prices are increasing. The main reason behind the inflation was the money supply. It means that the supply of the money has increased. Because the supply of the money has increased, so the inflation occurs. And because of the inflation, we know that there is a devaluation of the domestic currency. I mean, the value of the money falls down. Why? Because of the inflation. Why? Because the circulation of the money has increased. Because of circulation of the money, because since the circulation of money has increased, so what happens? There is a devaluation of the domestic currency. It means that the value of the money has fallen down. And because of currency devaluation, there is a fall in the currency. Because of currency devaluation, the value of the foreign exchange will automatically increase. So the relative version says that because of the inflation, there is a currency devaluation and the foreign exchange will automatically increase. That is all about the relative version. So relative version emphasizes on the inflation and says that because of the inflation the currency devaluates and the foreign exchange automatically increases because of the currency devaluation. Now let us see the limitations of purchasing power parity. It has following limitations. Number one is group of selected commodities. Group of selected commodities. Listen, the standard of living is different in different countries. That is, it is determined by the per capita income, national income. We know that importance of goods and services vary from country to country. Since the importance of goods vary from country to country, definitely it means that the money paid on different goods definitely might be vary, because we know that the money paid according to the utility. Suppose in country A, Apple has more utility. It means that more money will be paid to purchase Apple. And suppose country B has less utility for Apple. It means less money will definitely paid on the Apple. Why? Because the utility is less. So it becomes very difficult to determine the true purchasing power. We cannot apply that purchasing power parity over here. Why? Because the importance of the goods and services vary from country to country. This is one limitations. Now let us see the second limitations, that is errors in calculating price level. Listen, for calculating price level, we use index number method. And listen, it is very difficult to select the base year to implement the index method. So there is always being a problem in calculating the price level, because price level cannot be calculated without the correct indexing. And there is always a problem in determining the base year. The third limitation is effect of demand and supply of exchange rate. Listen, exchange rate of foreign currency are changed automatically by the demand and supply in the international market. And we are not considering the demand and supply in this purchasing power parity. So there is a limitations over here. because the effect of demand and supply is totally ignored, and we know that the effect of demand and supply has on the exchange rate, which is not considered in the purchasing power parity theory. The next is effect of exchange rate on price level. Remember, actually price level is affected by the change in exchange rate. What I said that price level is affected by the change in exchange rate, and exchange rate is not affected by the price level. Listen, the price of goods in India might be same, and exchange rate is not affected by the price which is being charged on goods in India. But if the exchange rate increase or if the exchange rate decrease, definitely it has an effect on the price in India. Example is petrol, so which is not considered over here, that is a purchasing power parity. So I think the thing is clear to everyone that the price table is affected by the change in exchange rate, and the exchange rate is not affected by the price table. The next limitation is inconsistent with restricted trade. Purchasing power parity theory is based on the assumption of free market. It is based on the assumption of free market. Therefore, it will not work in the restricted trade conditions. Let us see the next restriction, that is basis of changes in exchange rate. Remember one thing, under the purchasing power parity, the exchange rate will be determined on the basis of balance of trade, not on the basis of balance of payment. And balance of payment should be considered, not the balance of trade. So here we have seen that these are the limitations of purchasing power parity. That's all I have in this video. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. Dear subscribers, if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that whenever I upload the new video, you get the notification.